Good morning. Um, Today's Friday, and yeah, got some rain today. I hope it's going to clear up though, because we are in the process of moving my son into his apartment. Um, so yesterday I was there moving boxes and things, and today we were going to do the big stuff. We've got more people to help, and it's a nice apartment. It's on the third floor with no elevator, so that's a lot of steps. Yeah, it was a lot of walking, and more to come today. But yeah, I could really use um, this to finish up and move on. Um, but we've got some time because my son is on a night, night work schedule, so he won't be getting up for a bit yet. Um, so that's fine. Fingers crossed. That's gonna pass, and then we'll just uh, get into uh, the moving of boxes and things, um, big boxes with no rain. Because yeah, it's an open truck and it's not going to hold up too well to the wet cardboard and all that. So, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, so maybe maybe we'll talk about changing changing times, right? Um, so we're going to, I believe, we're definitely going to be moving into the smaller room at Garfield Park on Tuesday, Thursday. Um, we just, uh, I think it'll just be a better fit for us if we have a lot of noise in the other room next to us. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think you know it's it's probably going to be work out the best, and it looked fine. I don't see why we would have a problem having class in there. Um, and yeah, I mean things change, right? So our location for our room changes. People move in and out of your house and your life. Um, these are transitions that we all go through um, at different times. And the funny thing and the interesting thing I think about transitions is they give you an opportunity to take a look at your own life, your own situation, right? Um, Everything that is in our life as an input, right, is a balance. Everything works. Um, Nothing is separate. Everything works in conjunction with other things. So, um, if you look at a family structure, pardon me, they talk. This is something interesting that I've heard about, and I've sort of observed myself is as you grow up in a family unit, whether you have no siblings or 10 siblings, people take on different roles in the family. And when you leave the family or move out on your own, um, you tend to then be able to expand into your own role, um, which may be different. You may have a very different personality or different tendencies, different behaviors when you move out on your own. Um, but then when you come back, a lot of times you slip into that old format, right? That old role. Um, Not always, and not to a huge extent, right? It may be just very subtle. Um, and part of, a transition to different relationships is that um, everyone learns to be okay with that. No one is angry when people begin changing, when people don't necessarily slip right into that old role that they had played before. Um, we leave space for change and for some new behaviors and some new ways of doing things. This is really important for us to maintain this flexibility when it comes to our life and other people's lives, right? Allow them the space to change, um, and expect the same, right? Expect that level of respect and courtesy from the people around you. If you find that the people around you are unhappy or offended or troubled in some way by changes that you are feeling are important to your life, um, notice that and think about, what does that mean? Um, we can have some compassion for people who can't see a way to accept that things change, but we don't have to cooperate with that. We don't have to change or stop changing who we are to suit other people. Um, so, by the same token, right, other people are the same. They aren't required to be what we want them to be. Um, there will be who they are, and we will have to adjust accordingly. Um, it can be difficult. It can be a transition for you as well as they are. But something that is important about, I think transitions will teach you as much about yourself as the other person, right? So when someone else is going through the transition, your um, your reaction to that can tell you a lot about what's going on with you. And I think when we have these shifts in structure, it's important to take a look at our own situation and see where we might need to change, where we might need to do things differently. Um, because again, it's all a balance, right? And when you have um, a family structure or a friendship structure, or even just the way your week is put together, your routine, when that changes, it has a knock-on effect to everything that's going on in your life. Um, because again, we've got that balance, we've got that equilibrium, and when something goes out the window, things get unbalanced. So take a look. What do you need to do to get things back in balance for you? Maybe you need to change some of what you're doing. Um, a big transition for everyone was the whole pandemic situation, where we went from normal activity level to zero activity level in a day or possibly 2 days, right? Um, that was a big transition for us all. And again, we made our adjustments to try to bring things back into some kind of equilibrium that we felt comfortable with. You may not have achieved that. You may still be looking for that. Um, it doesn't necessarily happen immediately or quickly. It can take a while, um, especially since here we are almost 2 years later. Things really aren't completely back to normal. There's still a lot of changes, right, that we're dealing with and different things. So these don't necessarily happen quickly, right? You might think that you want them to happen quickly, but they don't necessarily happen quickly. So give yourself a break with that. Don't expect perfection or um, immediate, uh, you know, balancing of what's happening. It can take a little while, and um, don't be disappointed if you aren't thrilled with the changes. Right? We've spoken about this before. This idea that we are not the center of the universe. Right? We may be the center of our universe, our personal concerns and worries and desires, right? Those get in the way, right? They give us the impression that we are uh, uh, and what we want are the center of our universe. And in truth, we are the center of our universe, but our spirit, right? We're the spiritual center. Um, that focus within upon our spiritual nature is it can be right at the center. What shouldn't necessarily be at the center are the things you want, the desires, the attachments. Um, those things are stuff that we put over top of our spiritual nature, and those are the things that we feel that we pursue. Right? We put a great deal of effort and time into the pursuit of these goals and attachments and relationships and um, possessions, even, right? Uh, in our world, we put a great deal of status, I guess, on those things. And they can easily we can become confused about the importance of those things. So when I say, we are the center of our universe, um, I mean the spirit, right? That is that ever changing or never changing part in an ever changing world. So if you think about it, none of the things that happen, no changes, no adjustments, do they affect your spirit in any way? They do not. Your spirit is the same, just as the other people's spirits are the same. Um, whether we are living in the same house or living half a world away, we are all one. We are all connected. Um, those are the things to keep in mind. Um, and that, again, when changes happen in your life, that's a really good time uh, to remember that we don't have control over a lot of things that happen. We are part of a bigger picture. And it's easy to look at other people as kind of, you know, background actors in your tour de force, your you know biography of you. That you are the star and the lead character, and that all these other people are just there to support you and make you look good, and they're background actors in your story, right? I mean, most people don't think of things quite that narcissistic a way, but some people do. But we can get that feeling, right? Because we focus a lot on ourselves and what we are doing and all that. So it, we sometimes get that impression like, oh, this is happening. Oh, it's happening to me. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this person is doing this. It's affecting me. Well, I mean, it is, but remember that they are a whole person with their own set of desires and needs and um, pursuits and goals, just like you do. You're just intersecting orbits, right? You're at some point, these things came together, right? But they may also move apart and separate. That is, right, maybe part of the big picture. That's the trick about all of this, is that we have faith in the process, right? We have faith in this splitting up of the whole, right? So if we think of the whole and the spirit, how we all are connected, um, we began, right? I mean, when, I don't know, and we come back, and then we maybe begin again. It's hard to say. No one can say for sure what happens, but at some point we were all one and we became not one. We split up to some end, to some goal. Um, the goal, for a lot of people, the idea or the belief is that, we are meant to educate. We are meant to educate ourselves, to learn, to remember, right, what we were, to get back to this thing that we were at the beginning. And along the way, we affect other people and they affect us, and we build our best self through these lessons that we learn. So we are, at the very nature, we are splitting up and going our separate ways, right? But still connected. Um, so on a macro scale, but that happens on a micro scale in families, in relationships with friends, and all of these things, right? It happens on these very small scale, what we've been doing all along since the very beginning. Um, so have faith that we will all come back together, that this moving on, this separating, this change is the natural form, the natural state of things. We are in movement. Our bodies are moving through time, through space. Um, that is how we do it. And we're going to keep doing that for who knows how long. Um, so look within, right? Focus on that spirit, um, focus on that connection, and be at peace with the fact that we will change, that things will change. Don't let that trouble you. Don't let that, you know, I guess I should say, don't let the fear of the change ruin it, what might be a very good experience for you. Um, there is always the potential for um, something good to come from everything. Um, there may be something bad too, right? A little of both, some of this and some of that. Um, but if all we think and all we focus on and all we care about is what we've lost, what we are perceived that we are losing, we won't see what then we've also gained. Because, our I guess in our culture we have that saying that, every cloud has a silver lining, or um, when God closes a door, He opens a window. Um, these are, our ways of saying this same thing, that there is no loss without gain. There is no good uh, without bad. There are both. And to know this is to know that um, there's no reason to focus on one or the other. We don't need to relentlessly pursue the good and, fear the bad. And we also don't need to sit sadly, deeply broken by the bad and pretend we can't see the good, right? Um, it is a balance, right? That we always come back to that balance. So enjoy the good and persevere through the bad. Um, that's what we do. All right. So let's move around a little um, box lifting yoga. Um, I didn't realize how I don't. I guess I don't. We have a lot of steps in our house, but I don't think I make the trek from the downstairs all the way up to my bedroom in the third floor um, as often as I should, because the steps to my son's apartment are about the same. I would say there's a one big long step and then another big long staircase, not unlike the house. Um, it's a lot. It was a lot of walking. No elevator, right? So let's sit tall. Just relax through the shoulders. And let's breathe, relaxing through the belly so that you feel some expansion as you're breathing in. And then maybe the belly comes in a little on your exhale. It doesn't have to be a big, exaggerated movement. But as long as you can feel some movement down in that abdominal area, you know that you're allowing enough relaxation in the body that things are expanding throughout, right? You're not just breathing high in the chest, you are breathing lower in the body. And we're going to drop the chin down toward the chest. And then move your head around, making a big circle. Going one way and then the other. Keeping the shoulders low. Back up to your seat. Lean forward in the body. Move around. One way and the other. Back up, arms wide for a deep breath, and then we're just exhaling. Hands come together. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift, gaze up, and then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift, and lower, lift, and lower. Once more, lifting up, and then lower. Lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. Let's lift up that left arm, reach across. And then switch sides. Left hand on right knee, right arm behind. Sit tall, twist. Back to center and twist. Let's bring soles of the feet together. Sit up tall. Just lean forward a bit. Notice where things are getting tight. Breathe. Back up. Let's lift the knees. We're going to catch a hold of the toes or just the feet, right? Lean back a little. Finding your balance. And then if you feel steady here, we might extend. And then we're back. Both legs out in front. Let's point and flex the feet. Rotating through the ankles. One way and the other. Let's bend the right knee, sit up tall, shoulders back. And then lower the knee. So we've got that the foot right up against the thigh. Take a deep breath and then lean forward, reaching for that left foot. on back up. Let's switch it around. So I've got that left leg in. And then lowering the knee. Take a deep breath. And then we're leaning forward. Both legs out in front. Take a deep breath. Fold forward. Back up. Bend the knees. We're going to lower down here or rock back. Take a few breaths. And then let's bring the right ankle on top of the left knee. You might be staying right here, or you could bring this left leg in, relaxing the head and shoulders on the mat. And then we're going to switch that. So left ankle on the right knee, whatever version you took. On the one side, we'll do the same on the other. And then set both feet down. Maybe bump the knees together, walk the feet out to the edges of the mat, and just relax for a few breaths. So we're going to do regular bridge, and then we're going to do supported bridge. So we're going to walk the feet back close to the body. They're about hip width apart, not super wide, but wide enough that you feel steady and stable. We're going to have hands by the side, pressing down, hands and feet, lifting up the hips. Then lower down. Take a breath, and then we're going to do a supported bridge. So got a block, lift up, find a place for it. If you don't have a block or don't want to do supported bridge, you could do another regular bridge, and then just rest back down when you're done with that. But supported bridge is, I think, just a very restful and comfortable place to be. So using a block, you have like a really solid type of cushion, that will work. Um, I've been known to use books with maybe a pillow to make them not quite so hard, but you can certainly make do with whatever you got. And then we're lifting up. Take the block out. We're going to bring soles of the feet together. Knees apart. Maybe bring the arms up over your head. You could extend them, or you could just interlace the fingers, whatever feels good. And if you don't like having arms over your head, if it feels rough on the shoulders or just not your thing, just bring hands on the belly. That's fine. There's something special about the position of some of these things. Some of them are energetically a little more appropriate than others, let's say, but you can always mix it up. The key is to know that there's a variety of options, so you can try something different, and to try to mix it up a little in your own practice so you don't find yourself doing the same thing over and over and over. That you try some different things, and a little slightly different position, slightly different uh, movement or something, right, with the body. And let's bring knees to center. You can hug them in, rock a little side to side. And then when you're ready, we'll bring arms to a T or goalpost arms, and we'll start lowering the knees to the right. Set your gaze left. Try to keep the shoulders steady on the mat. And if the knees don't go all the way down, that's fine. Just go to your kind of soft limit with that. Back to center, moving opposite. Set your gaze opposite. And then back to your center. Hands down by your side. Lift the legs. And when you're ready, lowering one at a time or both together. And then just be at a comfortable place, a comfortable position. If you need to move around a little to get there, that's fine, right? Find that steadiness. Find the peace. So there is this peace within us, even in the most chaotic and difficult of circumstances. There is that peace. We carry it within us like just an oasis, right, in the desert. um, we can go there, right? We can move within to that safe and quiet place when we need to. So, no matter what's happening around you, remember that you can be at peace. You can find that balance within. As you can probably guess, the time to go seeking that peaceful place is maybe not in a time of stress, right? We want to know how to get there. We don't want to be under pressure to get there. Right? So I remember um, my mom, maybe, or my dad telling me, it must have been my mom, suggesting, right, if you have something you have to do the next day, like an appointment or um, a job interview or something really, really important that you know is going to be stressful and difficult, go the night before or the day before and look at the place where you're going. Go find you know, the best way to get there. Just drive there and see the building, see the place you're going, visit it, right? In a non stressful time, in a time where you can take your time, notice, anything unusual, anything, I have to, maybe it's a weird turn or, there's something I need to watch out for. Maybe the parking is difficult, think about where you're going to park. Um, all of those things done in a peaceful time aren't as scary. They aren't as highly charged. So give yourself that advantage so that then when you are um, in a stressful time, right? You under on a deadline, got to get there by 1 o'clock. You have a little bit of space, a little bit of ease. So, too, we want to visit that peaceful space when we don't need it per se, right? That's why we explore that in class. We move there in shavasana. We work on maybe some meditation. These times that help us move into this calm space, to locate the calm space, right? To figure out where the parking is, and how to make that weird turn that we got to make to get in there. Um, then it becomes less foreign and more familiar. We uh, know how to get there. We understand the quirks and the little things that we might have to do to get us into that space. Um, so it's easy, right? It's easier, I should say, when you're in a stressful situation, when you really, really need that peace, um, you can go right there. So keep breathing, keep relaxing. Notice how you feel in this space. When you're ready, moving a little bit, fingers and toes, hands and feet. And then maybe ending up over on that right side. Take a breath or two, and then make your way up to a seat. We'll bring hands together. Breath in and breath out. Thank you for taking some time this morning for yoga, for sharing some of that with me. I hope that you have a really good Friday. And namaste. Thank you. Um, so, yeah, have a good Friday. Have a nice weekend. Um, I'll be back here on Monday. and we will we will do some more. All right. Give me give me good wishes and happy vibrations. Pass me good thoughts so I get all my moving done today.